His face was pale, his eyes bewildered. This person was my master. Don't judge him by his appearance. He is the Devil Face, the leader of the Black Flower, a notorious organization of assassins and spies. He made the death sect fear him just by wearing a killer mask for more than 180 minutes a day. His handsome face was gone. Nam Kong Mei was the youngest son of one of the 5 great families, the Nam Kong clan. While his siblings were recognized as outstanding geniuses who brought glory to the family, he was only a useless person who ruined everything he did. To avoid bringing shame to his father, the Nam Kong patriarch sent him to the White Martial Hall of the Vo Men to train. His eldest brother, out of jealousy, threatened him. Don't let your weakness disgrace the family like the other kids. Mei was assigned to the class of T, one of the 12 classes of the White Martial Hall. A person appeared from the sky with a powerful aura. He was young Haiyu, a master known as the Demon Sword. Everyone thought he was their master, but he was only an assistant. Your master is this great person. A dark figure came from afar, emitting a terrifying aura that made the kids scream. But when he got closer, he was no different from a night owl. A silly smile, dark eyes like he had just drunk blood. The assistant then introduced him as your Devil Face Master. He is the infamous leader of the Black Flower, I'm sure you've heard of him. Instead of admiring him, the kids started whispering. It seems that this old master is a fake. He looks weak and nothing like the real one. This made the assistant young Haiyu angry and he released his aura, knocking down all of them. His strength was indeed formidable. He turned to the Devil Face, but he had fallen face down more than the students without anyone noticing. It was really bad luck. Among the students, there were also many outstanding ones. For example, Moyam Bo, a genius of one of the 5 famous families. His family was especially hostile to Melon's family. It was a disaster. Oil, even though he hated him, he didn't dare to attack him directly. There were also Wan Pu of the Shaolin and Gami of the Jiga. They were not only excellent in appearance, but also intelligent. That girl was coincidentally his childhood friend. But she ignored him because of his fame. He was the useless young master of the famous Nam Kong clan. The first lesson was just like that. After the roll call, everyone was allowed to go back to the dormitory. As soon as he got back to his room, young Bo started to practice his chi. While the others were still complaining about this place being like a warehouse, the useless waste like Mei was compared to them. He would never give up, he had to be acknowledged by his elder brother. He took a wooden sword and went out to the yard to practice diligently. Time passed like that for a week. While the others were still having fun and dancing, Mei practiced his sword every day. Finally, the assistant young Haiyu called them to gather in the field. It was still like the first day. The Devil Face Master called a few names and then announced that everyone else had been eliminated. This made all the students stunned. The kids started to scream and ask what was going on. Did the masters look at our backgrounds and see that we were not of the same class, so they kicked us out? The master had to explain slowly. In the past week, I have observed you, your habits, personality, characteristics, strengths, weaknesses, everything has been seen. I even gave you a sign, I was watching. Mei didn't understand why she was eliminated like the others in a week when she had been very diligent in training. Was it because she didn't notice the sign? The students were still not convinced, so the master with the devil face gave them a test. Just touch the assistant once and you can pass. This is the last chance for everyone. The assistant took a branch to fend off all the attacks of the kids. He was quickly surrounded by them. But their weak attacks couldn't touch him at all. Even Mei's sword was easily dodged. In less than an hour, everyone seemed to be exhausted and started to give up, except for the one who was considered a waste, Nam Kong Mei. He used all his meager internal energy to rush to attack, but still couldn't touch the assistant. If this situation continues, he will be eliminated. Suddenly, Mei's body emitted a terrifying internal energy that was increasing. It turned out that when he was young, he was tricked by a bad guy into drinking a poison that attacked his internal energy. It would make the martial artist unable to use his martial arts. His father could only temporarily stabilize his internal energy, but once he used it, his meridians would become more chaotic. Mei's speed increased dramatically after using his internal energy, but he still couldn't hit the assistant. His momentum then became completely different from before. While Mei was trying to attack recklessly, the master had somehow intervened and knocked him down. But he also had to lie on the ground. He told Mei that he had passed, and asked him to look at his cloak. After taking Mei to the restroom, the master immediately realized what was wrong with him. It turned out that the cut on the assistant's cloak was also made by him. The assistant didn't understand, but he still trusted his senior's reason for choosing this boy. As soon as he opened his eyes, he was scared by the devil face. Now he was fully awake. Nam Kung Mei was taken to summon the disciples. The training session began, and he announced that he would choose a team leader. This would be done by the students themselves through the upcoming tasks. Everyone was determined to get this position. Even Nam Kung Mei wanted it. The master gave each person a small bag, which contained something very important. It could only be opened when they brought it to the top of that mountain. He would score them according to the order of arrival. It would be very dangerous. He would wait for them. Nam Kung Mei was very determined. Indeed, he was still lagging behind. When his friends had passed the tree line, but luckily they had broken all the traps. If it was him, he would have been doomed. They were awesome. With his superior strength, Mo Young Bo was the first to reach the top. But the master with the thick face seemed unhappy. He ordered Mo Young Bo to open the bag, which made him pale with worry. The disciples behind also opened it and found out that it was a sparrow. But it was very weak. He explained that what made the righteous sect different from the evil sect or the demon sect was the power of protection. Although Mo Young Bo arrived first, he was disqualified because the bird had died. Nam Kung Mei was also paralyzed because he finished last, even though he protected the bird. The first place was Degami, the second was Wan Pu, the third was Un Jiang. Moang Bo heard the teacher announce it but was not happy and left. The others sat and rested in place to continue studying in the afternoon. While resting, two guys from Class Hui came wandering by. They saw Nam Kung Mei and laughed at him. They learned that Tang Weiju from Class Hui was from Satrian, one of the 5 great families that specializes in poison and hidden weapons. He mocked, "How can a trash like you get in here?" Han Muji, his friend, also added that he was incompetent. Nam Kung Mei of the Nam Kung family. The others wanted to speak up for Nam Kung Mei. But the power of these two was too strong. They could not touch them, so they could not do anything. At this time, Moang Bo came back from outside and ignored the two guys. He shouted, "Get out of the way." The two guys heard that and turned around. They saw Moang Bo coming. Tang Qiu was surprised and muttered, "He is also in this class." Then he approached and greeted him, pretending to be familiar. But Moang Bo threw him a contemptuous look and walked by, not caring. Seeing that he was insulted in front of everyone, Tang Qiu went crazy and used a deadly move to attack Moang Bo, but was pushed back by a punch from him. He rushed to attack again, but was stopped by 2 teachers. The 2 guys left, and the master began to assign everyone to practice what was called Tuk Magic Duel, which was to lift a large stone slab up and down 1,000 times without using internal power. Nam Kung Mei struggled to finish, and saw that everyone else had finished long ago and sighed. Ji Gami came over and said that he was still weak as before. She said, "I wonder why the Nam Kung family let you come here instead of your other senior brothers and sisters." Nam Kung Mei replied, "I don't know either." Hearing that, she said, "You are really stupid. I am from the Daga family, so I will have to take over the military position in the central Vo Min. But one thing I don't understand at Bokvo Quan is the master with the devil face. He looks like a fake. Everyone was shocked, and she began to talk about the devil face. In the memory of the adults, he was an unbeatable legend. But now in front of everyone, the master with the devil face was like a waste. After a while, everyone decided to test him to see if he was real or fake. At this time, in Class Hoi, Tang Weiju was crying and complaining to his class master Gumaho that he was bullied and beaten by Class T and no one stopped them. Through his exaggerated words, Gumaho was furious. He took the list of masters of each class and checked it. After seeing that the teacher was the devil face, he wondered if the leader of the Black Flower Gang was really as famous as the legend, and said, "Let Gumaho teach him a lesson." He took his knife and went to Class T and shouted, "Devil face, why did you let your students beat up my students, and how do you want to solve it according to the martial arts rules?" Without waiting for anyone to explain, he started to attack the devil face. But no matter how many skills he used, he was easily dodged by the master with the devil face. Just as he put all his strength into the final move and the masked master did not intend to dodge anymore, assistant teacher Ong arrived in time to stop him. His job, given by the leader of the Vo-Min sect Kwok Yun, was to follow the masked master and not let him do anything. The two fell into a stalemate just as Nam Kong Mei on the side screamed in agony. His eyes bled, and everyone stopped. The masked master hurried to support him. Gumaho saw that and said goodbye, promising to come back another day. When he got home, Gumaho sat down to practice his inner strength and muttered. Was he really the masked master? How could he dodge all of his attacks without any harm? Time passed, and at night he heard the voice of his master Gumaho. He opened his eyes in shock and looked around. He saw no one and thought he had heard wrong, but then the masked master wearing a mask appeared in front of him and said, "Now can we compete according to your wishes?" Gumaho stuttered. "Are you really the masked master?" Seeing that the masked master did not answer but only asked if he was ready, he went crazy. He grabbed his sword and jumped up to chop at the masked master. Seeing that, he only raised one finger, and the sword hit his finger and broke into pieces and fell to the ground. He did not stop there, but his finger continued to pierce through several holes in his chest and grabbed Gumaho's neck. Fortunately, at that moment, he thought that this was not a life-and-death fight, but a competition, so he stopped and asked, "Do you still doubt me?" Gumaho's eyes widened in horror and he stammered, No, I'm sorry. I have been rude to the masked master." Hearing that, the masked master only said, "I have just become your master for a short time, and there are many things that I need you to teach me later." Then he disappeared in Gumaho's astonishment. He returned to his room and rested with Nam Kong Mei. At this time, Nam Kong Mei also woke up, and he asked, "What did you do to your eyes?" Nam Kong Mei replied, "I have seen everything." You deliberately avoided the attacks of Master Gumaho. Hearing that, the masked master thought that it was thanks to that power that his eyesight improved. But he did not show it on his face and said, "You are mistaken. If Master Gumaho did not let me, I would have died long ago." Nam Kong Mei insisted, "I am not mistaken. You really did that." At this time, the masked master said, "Do you know how dangerous that power is? It can even cost you your life. Why do you risk using it?" Nam Kong Mei heard that and said, "I am willing to sacrifice everything. Anyway, no one expects anything from me. I'm sure you have a way, please teach me." Hearing that, the masked master thought that this child was walking on the same path as he had. Who was the one who poisoned him with that poison and what was their purpose? He turned to him and said, "I will show you how to become stronger. Your dantian is not normal. It cannot contain inner strength, so you use inner strength that is unevenly distributed, so your moves are weak. Now there is only one way, that is to reverse your inner strength. Reversing is of the evil sect because it is very dangerous, so the righteous sect almost never uses it. Although it is a bumpy and perilous road, it will help you use the essence in your dantian. My principle is that I will teach you the next step when you have done well the previous one. After saying that, he opened the door and left. Nam Kung Mei left to practice. Thanks to the help of P1-2, he gradually felt his inner strength. A few days later, the basic training was over. Bok Vu Quan prepared to move on to the next training, the combat training. The elders from the sects came to Vu Min as guests. The goal was to escort them safely to their sect and gain more experience. And 12 classes had received the escort order. Elsewhere, the masked master was meeting with the leader and asking him to let his class train in combat in his own way. Hearing that, the leader replied, "Do you want to train them in the way of the Black Flower sect?" The masked master replied, "I only changed the training method to suit the abilities of the young ones. Also, I have something else to investigate. I will report to you when I am sure." Then he left. At the main gate of Bok Vu Quan, all the classes were gathering to receive the escort order. At this time, someone ran over and shouted, "Little brother Nam Kung Mei." It turned out to be Nam Kung Jiang, the younger brother of Nam Kung Mei, who also enrolled in the martial arts school and was in the Mui class. The two talked for a while and Nam Kung Mei learned that the content of his class was different from the others. While talking, Nam Kung Jiang had to leave to escort his class. The two said goodbye, and at this time only the people of the Thai class had not received the mission. Everyone was wondering when the masked master and assistant teacher Zhang appeared. They told everyone to follow them, everything had been arranged. When they got there, they found out that it was a caravan. At this time, a group of escorts appeared in front of them and were bullying them. Everyone stepped forward to help the caravan owner. After that, the caravan owner, Wang Xiaobang, invited them in for a drink and told them about the current situation of the caravan. After listening, the masked master spoke. "We came here to find you, we are the escorts who came to cooperate with the Sukjin caravan." Hearing that, everyone was amazed and opened their mouths. In another place, the three men who had just met the masked master and everyone else were reporting to Ca Dung, the owner of the Dung Trine caravan. It turned out that they were sent to pretend to be escorts to spy on the Sukjin caravan. On the side of the masked master, everyone had agreed with the caravan owner. He was telling his students, "We are not training for show, but we will do the mission directly. The escort route will surely encounter bandits, and the escorts are hired to deal with them." Then he collected all the weapons of everyone and said, "Assistant teacher Zhang brought out the weapons I prepared for everyone. First was Mo Young Ho, he gave him 10 old swords. Next was Yagami, she received a bamboo flute. It was Jiang's turn, and she received a string of darts. P1-2 received a 3-section staff. Finally, it was Nam Kung Mei, he whispered in his ear. First of all, you have to catch up with your friends. Yang energy is like heaven, Yin energy is like earth, but you reverse them for each other. So what should I do now?" After thinking for a while, Nam Kung Mei spoke. "I have to reverse heaven and earth." In another place, there was an old man holding a gourd of wine and muttering, "No one saw me off, how lonely, don't they look down on the elder of the gang?" A few days later, the masked master stood in front of everyone and announced, "Now we officially start combat training. Our goal is to escort the caravan safely from Hanam to Habu. We don't know what will happen on the way, so we always have to be vigilant. Even if something happens, we have to protect the caravan and the goods. Also, at the end of this time, we will choose a team leader." Everyone moved until night and rested in the forest. Nam Kung Mei walked past a training area. He saw his master with a devilish face. He was about to ask him something, but his master chased him away to guard the car. He didn't understand what was going on, but he left anyway. After he left, his master spoke. You don't need to hide. Go ahead. At that moment, a group of people appeared. They didn't say much. His master put on a mask. The assassins also drew their swords and rushed forward. In a blink of an eye, more than a dozen assassins fell to the ground. Then, one of them shouted, "Mask, could he be the poisonous devil? Everyone, prepare the poison attack." Hearing that, his master laughed. "So, because of my other nickname, the poisonous devil, you think you can stop me with poison? You only know half of the truth, so you are mistaken. The poison in the devil is not the poison in the poison attack, but the poison in loneliness." As he spoke, he charged into the remaining ones. A while later, he sent a message to the assistant teacher, asking him to come over. When the assistant teacher arrived, all the assassins were lying on the ground. His master was sitting on a large rock in the middle. Seeing him, he took off his mask and said, "You are late, assistant teacher." The assistant teacher asked, "Did you kill them all?" He replied, "No, if it wasn't for the mission, I wouldn't kill them. I just broke all their joints and destroyed their energy centers. They were trained quite professionally. The force that wants to eliminate the Sukjayam trade group seems to be more powerful than we thought." The assistant teacher said, "Are the kids in danger? We have to end this training session." His master said, "No, continue the training. I need you to deal with the assassins. Leave the bandits to the kids. I have to leave this place for a while. Please take care of the class for me." Then he put on his mask and left. The next day, everyone continued on their way. After a while, the young master of the Sukjayam trade group, Won-I Ji-hun, met a child named Jean Hill in a nomadic village nearby. Before, when it was destroyed, they often rested there. He told everyone that he often went with his grandfather to find herbs on the mountain. He turned to ask the child, "Why are you alone today? Where's your grandfather?" The child said, "My grandfather has a backache, so I went by myself today. Are you going to the village? Let's go together." Everyone happily agreed. A while later, they arrived at the village gate. Before they could rejoice, they saw corpses everywhere, and things scattered around. They hurriedly checked around. Finally, they found a few people who were still alive, but they were also seriously injured. Among them was the child's grandfather. He was taken care of until he woke up. He saw everyone and begged for help. He said, "Not only my daughter-in-law, but all the women in the village were kidnapped. We have to save them." Namkung-mei shouted, "We have to save them." Hearing that, the assistant teacher said, "I want to do that too, but our priority is to escort the trade group. This could be a trap. We can't leave the trade group alone." Namkung-mei didn't agree and said, "Even so, we can't sit still. What I learned in the White Dao Hall is to support each other and protect justice." Hearing that, Mao Ringbo and Yagami also agreed. The young master Won-I Ji-hun also told the assistant teacher not to worry about the trade group. He said, "If we let them run rampant like this, we can't be at ease either." Seeing the determined faces of everyone, the assistant teacher thought that they were becoming more and more like righteous martial artists. He said, "Then, Class T, start the mission to rescue the kidnapped people. We will split into two groups, the rescue group and the escort group. The rescue group consists of Mao Ringbo, Gami, Won-Pu and me. The escort group consists of Un-jiang and Namkung-mei. You two stay and protect the trade group." Hearing that, Namkung-mei was about to object, but the assistant teacher gave him something and said, "This is the signal flare of the enemy's flower bomb. If anything happens, shoot it into the sky and we will come right away." He accepted it but still hesitated. "Son, I want to go rescue them." Hearing that, Yagami spoke up. "You can't go, you won't be able to help anything." Hearing that, he lowered his head and clenched his fists, only saying, You guys must save them, okay? The four of them had just left for a while when they were ambushed by a group of bandits on the way. Because they were only bandits, the assistant teacher Jiang let the other three deal with them according to the instructions of the devil-faced master. The three of them fought for a while, and in their heads they all thought, why did the devil-faced master choose weapons that are not suitable like this? On the side of Nam Kung Mei, when he was patrolling the village with Jin Hyuk, they exchanged some things. After hearing that, he had a bad feeling. Maybe the robbers knew about this transport. As he was about to turn back, he ran into the assassins. Seeing the danger, he was about to use the signal flare, but the assassins didn't give him that chance. The leader threw a rope to tie him up and smashed the signal flare. He hung him upside down on a tree and ordered his subordinates to kill Jin Hyuk. Hearing Jin Hyuk's cry for help, he shouted to stop. Seeing that, they laughed even more and said, "You should despair, the weak are always trampled by the strong." Ha's despair reached its peak, making him remember his father's words. It is very difficult to be strong enough to protect others. But no matter how difficult it is, I still want to protect them. That is the reason why I really want to be stronger. At this time, the words of his master also echoed. I will tell you how to become stronger, first you have to reverse the flow. Thinking of that, he began to reverse the flow, a burst of power exploded in an instant, the chains were broken. He landed, grabbed Jin Hyuk and jumped back. The assassins were stunned and couldn't react. How could it be? Clearly just now when they fought, his internal strength was still weak. Now it's so much stronger. After putting Jin Hyun on the ground, he picked up his sword and stood up. As he stood up, he said, "The strong are not allowed to trample on the weak, but to protect them. That is the morality of the strong." The assassin snorted and replied, "You are young and don't understand life. Let me show you that this world is the big fish eating the small fish." He said and shouted, "Die." Then he swung his sword and chopped at him. He calmly thought that this strength came from the spirit, but he had never used it properly. That's because until now he realized that he had to use techniques to enhance this strength, the techniques that he knew. He thought of his big brother who had used the heavenly spear technique, the twin dragons flying out in front of him. Thinking of that, he immediately performed that technique. The result was unexpected, one of them was hit, and died on the spot. But he was also exhausted, and couldn't stand very well. The three remaining ones saw that and were shocked. At first they thought they might have been tricked. Nam Kung Mei was the strongest one left behind to protect the caravan. But later they saw that he was weak, so they didn't hesitate and the three remaining ones rushed up together, wanting to win quickly. Nam Kung Mei kept dodging and rolling on the ground. But how could someone like him fight against three assassins like that? The three of them attacked from three different directions, leaving him no room to counterattack. After a while, his body was full of bleeding wounds. Knowing that he couldn't hold on for long, he needed to find a technique to break the situation. But he didn't learn the heavenly spear technique properly. Until now, he only knew one technique. He practiced it over and over again, hundreds and thousands of times. Unable to resist any longer, he gathered all his strength and swung his sword up, shouting, once again the heavenly spear technique, the first move, the dragon roar. After that shout, another assassin fell in front of him, his clothes torn. He also only had time to mutter, one more, one more." Then he also fell down and fainted. The two remaining ones were scared and shouted, "What's going on? How can this kid change his technique? It's the same move, but he changed it into a different form in such a short time." He approached and muttered, "If I spare you this time, you will become a threat in the future. I have to send you to meet the King of Hell." As he said, he raised his sword and stabbed it down on his head. Just then, an old man with a cane came. It was the old man from the beggar sect who was not escorted. The two assassins saw that and stopped, thinking that the beggars had returned. He looked closely and saw that it was an old man with a cane, so he shouted, "Who are you?" The old man replied, "Although I don't know the specific situation, I know for sure that those who hide their faces like you are scum. For grown-ups who bully a child." The two of them saw that and rushed to deal with the old man. Seeing them rushing over, the old man shouted, "This old body will make your dogs suffer." It turned out that he was the elder of the beggar sect, Hong Seo-young. On the other side, seeing that the three of them couldn't finish the bandits, the assistant teacher Jiang decided to take action himself and then caught one of them to lead the way to the hostages. On this side, the two assassins got close, and saw the knots on Hong Seo-young's belt, and knew that he was a master of the beggar sect. Knowing that they couldn't beat him, they turned around and threw smoke bombs and ran away. Hong Seo-young looked at Nam Kong-mei lying on the ground and said, "A spirit that doesn't give up even though he has exceeded his own limits. The ability to judge and choose the best way in the most difficult situation. It's commendable." The sword technique that he used just now was the heavenly spear technique. He must be the child of the Nam Kong family. When the assistant teacher Jiang brought the villagers back to the village, it was already dark. As they entered, they saw Nam Kong-mei lying on the bed, his body wrapped in bandages. Seeing the elder of the beggar sect next to him, he thought that the wounds on Nam Kong-mei's body were caused by him, so he went to ask, but was scolded by him and said, "Assistant teacher Jiang, bring some wine, drink it and I'll tell you." He drank the wine and told the situation in one go. At first, everyone didn't believe it. The assistant teacher Jiang even asked again. Did he fight in an abnormal state, the state of mind demon that he used to have? Hearing that, Hong Seo-young said, "No, there was no sign of that. On the contrary, the kid was very good, he killed 2 of the 4 assassins." Hearing that, everyone was shocked. The assistant teacher Jiang asked again, "So he fought with the assassins?" Hong Seo-young answered, "That's right, and the 4 assassins were all first-class martial artists. Divided into levels. Only knowing how to use a sword is a third-class martial artist, learning techniques and martial arts to fight is a second class. Reaching the realm where they can use their internal strength with weapons and body is a first-class martial artist. He who has formed his inner power and has a weapon that can contain sword energy is a supreme master who can cut even stone. He who has accumulated inner power for over 60 years in his elixir field can win against 10 supreme martial artists is a super supreme master. The higher realms are the flower realm and the mysterious realm. But your reactions are strange. Even though I praised him a little, why do you ask me so carefully and meticulously?" The assistant teacher Jiang replied, "Is it that the boy is not as powerful as you said, or is there some mistake?" Hong Seo-young heard that and angrily shouted, "Do you mean I lied? Do you know which organization I belong to? I am the elder of the gang that is known as the Information Gathering Organization of the Righteous Faction. If I talk nonsense, who would trust the information that the gang provides?" The boy clearly used the heavenly sword technique of the Nam Kong family in the fight with the assassin. The image I saw was the image of a chivalrous man who was ready to sacrifice himself to protect the weak. He is surely the 3rd son of Nam Kong-hee. Hearing that, everyone exclaimed, "You are wrong, he is Nam Kong-mei." Hearing that, he was startled and widened his eyes. Nam Kong-mei? Knowing that he had guessed wrong, he quickly changed the topic. "Why did the assassins attack here? What do you think?" Just then, Wang Sun, the owner of the trading company, came and explained the reason why the assassins did that. It could be like this. At another place in the city of Anhai, in front of the Nam Kong family's gate, the masked master was standing in front of the door talking to the servant. But because he looked like a beggar, the servant did not believe him, and even drove him away. He told him to come back tomorrow night. He pretended to leave and then climbed over the wall and sneaked in. On this side, everyone had guessed that the killers might have come for a pill that the trading company was transporting. On the side of the masked master, after sneaking in, he met the owner of the Nam Kung family, who was the father of Nam Kung Mei. Although he wore a mask, the owner of the Nam Kung family did not believe that he was the masked master, so the two went out to fight. After many rounds, the masked master finally took off his mask and said, "I came here not as the masked master, but as the master of the White Martial Hall to visit the home of my disciple." At that time, the two sat down and drank wine and talked. The owner of the Nam Kung family said, "Did you come here because of my son? What do you want to know?" The masked master said, "You must have suffered a lot because of Nam Kung Mei's elixir field." The owner of the Nam Kung family replied, "I don't regret spending so much inner power to separate Mei's elixir field. I have mobilized all the people of the family to find out, but I still can't know what kind of poison it is. That's why I entrusted my hope to the martial world." The masked master replied, "It turns out that I guessed right. There is a way to suppress that original energy inside Nam Kung Mei. It is the original cycle skill. This is a unique martial skill that I created. I still don't know if the boy has the qualifications to learn it or not. Originally, I had no intention of passing on my martial skills to the later generations. I will decide whether to pass on the martial skills after observing Nam Kung Mei for a while longer." The owner of the Nam Kung family heard that and clasped his hands and said, "Please understand the feelings of a father like me. I thank you very much. Do you know why I doubted you when you appeared? Because there is a rumor that the masked master is punishing the world. In fact, many forces of the evil faction are wary of you. Isn't that strange? The masked master has always been in the martial world, but there is a rumor that the masked master appears outside. Maybe the peaceful era is about to end." Hearing that, the masked master was surprised and said nothing, then left. On this side, Nam Kung Mei woke up and saw that he was lying on the bed. He was startled and remembered Jin Hyuk, and hurriedly ran outside and shouted. Seeing him run out, everyone ran over to ask and check. Seeing that he was fine, the assistant teacher told everyone to go back and rest, and we will leave tomorrow. While Nam Kung Mei was sitting and muttering the method of reversing his inner power, Mao Ringbo suddenly took his wooden sword and came over and asked, "How can you fight them with this weak sword? A wooden sword can't withstand inner power." Hearing that, he was stunned and thought, Mao Ringbo, who is known as the genius of the Maryang family, is asking me for advice. He didn't think much and told Mao Ringbo how he used his inner power. But because he was not used to it, Mao Ringbo broke the sword. Seeing that, he was embarrassed and gave one of his swords to Nam Kung Mei. The next day, everyone started on their way. Nam Kung Mei met Hong Seo Young again. He thanked him and promised that he would definitely come to see him privately to thank him for saving the villagers' lives. He also thanked everyone and said goodbye, and everyone started to leave. But for some reason, Hong Seo Young followed behind. Just then, he saw Yagami holding a flute and practicing his sound power, so he went up and talked to him. After a while, he said, "Have you ever thought about why your master gave you a bamboo flute? Try to think further than the little girl from Ri's family, then go ahead." At this time, Jiang was walking ahead and suddenly stopped and muttered, "There are people coming out lately." He went up and heard that and thought, "Oh, this kid has a good hearing, let's see who they are and what they are doing." Then he concentrated his inner power into his eyes and looked far away, and saw a few people killing each other. He opened his eyes and said, "They are the people of the Green Forest, and they seem to be disciples of the Nimai section." Hearing the name of the Nimai sect, Wan Pu was startled and remembered that he had met the head of the Nimai sect, Hekyo, before. He turned and wrote a note for Nam Kung Mei to see. The Nimai sect is also called the mysterious flower of the Central Plains. At this time, Ryung felt more headache. She suddenly shouted, "Above!" Everyone looked up and saw two people fighting a person in white clothes, wearing a hat and a scarf covering his face. The two guys looked at the person in white and said, "You lost your teammates, you must be scared. If you serve us, maybe we will save you." The person in white replied, "Not only are you ugly, but your mouth is also bad." Hearing that, the two guys rushed up and slashed at the person in white. After a series of moves, the hat of the person in white was cut and fell down. Seeing that, he said, "Dare to mock the woman Ju Ha-jin, I will not spare you." He was Ju Ha-jin of the Nimai sect and was a member of the Mao class. Everyone saw him and they were all stunned and amazed, because everyone thought that behind the veil was a beautiful woman, but it turned out to be a man. The guy saw that and said, "Using a veil, I thought it was a beautiful girl. A man pretending to be a woman, I almost vomited." Ju Ha-jin heard that and was angry and said, "A man pretending to be a woman, I will chop you up." He was about to rush up, but Nam Kung Mei came and blocked him. He looked at the two men and said, "Don't say things that you shouldn't say to women." The two leaders turned to look at Nam Kung Mei and then at the goods passing by. They laughed and said, "We are annoyed by this man who pretends to be a woman, but we didn't expect such a big fish. If you don't want to die, leave your belongings and get out of here." Hearing that, Nam Kung Mei thought, how did it turn out like this? He was about to raise his sword, but Ju Ha-jin came in front of him and said, "It's very dangerous, please step back." He remembered his childhood, when he was a beautiful girl and his mother told him many things to make him stronger. He didn't have time to think, as the bandits attacked. The assistant teacher shouted, "Prepare to attack." Everyone split up and fought. Mao Ringbo remembered Nam Kung Mei's advice. He applied it and found his own method. Ji Gami did the same. She remembered Hong Seo Young's words. She finally discovered that this flute was made from black bamboo, which only grows in the deepest part of Nimai Mountain. Because it has the strength and elasticity of steel, this black bamboo is very rare. Knowing this, she used it as a weapon instead of practicing sound skills. An Jiang also used her darts. Seeing that, the remaining bandits attacked Wan Pu. He was stunned by the person who was not like the Nimai sect in his imagination. He thought and muttered, "My Nimai sect, damn it, did I see it wrong? This situation is impossible." He was dragged into the battle. Ju Ha-jin then turned to ask Nam Kung Mei, "What is your name, sir?" He hesitated and said, "I am Nam Kung Mei, Miss Ju Ha-jin. It seems that you are not injured. My disciples are still fighting, I have to go and help them." He ran away. The assistant teacher looked at everyone and thought, they have mastered the new weapons, they are more efficient than the previous fight. Have they figured it out? Finally, the battle ended, and all the bandits were tied up. The assistant teacher then looked at the white-clothed person and asked, "Are you from the Mao class?" She answered, "I am Ju Ha-jin from the Mao class of the White Martial Arts Hall." She then explained the situation. She was escorting the elders of the Fire Sun sect when they were ambushed by the Green Forest gang. She was separated from the Mao class while fighting. When he was about to look for the Mao class, a girl appeared and said that she was a student of the Mao class. She said, "Ha-jin, do you know how long I've been looking for you? You have to be punished." She was about to act, but the assistant teacher stopped her and said, "If you want to punish your student, do it at the White Martial Arts Hall." She hugged the assistant teacher and said, "Short Sword Demon, are you going to punish me?" Hong Seo Young thought, this is the daughter of the Nan family, her name is Unjan Ji. Why don't they call her the Cunning Girl? At this time, a killer hidden in a tree observed for a while and then left. He ran back to report the situation, and the leader who was sitting there also received a letter from a pigeon. He laughed after reading it. "We have permission now, the plan will be implemented sooner. It will be carried out tonight, this time we have to kill them all. Take both the Thatch Kim Thuong pills and kill that kid." The kid he was talking about was Nam Kung Mei. On the other side, assistant teacher Zhang was still standing still, not knowing what to do. At this time, the voices from afar came, "Master, Jin's sister." Hearing that, Juha Jin said, "Maybe the junior sisters of the Mao class are looking for me and my master." 1-2 was still in shock. Hearing that, he thought, the disciples of the Nimai sect must be right. Maybe only this girl is strange. The other disciples will be different. He eagerly turned back to look, but was stunned. All the girls of the Mao class had faces like men. He fainted on the spot. At this time, Hong Seo-young spoke up to explain to everyone, the Mao class is the most secluded place of the Nimai sect among the 12 classes of the Bakvo Hall. Among them, the most outstanding person is Juha Jin, who is rumored to have a great reputation in the Tuthien city of the Nimai section. She is loved by everyone and called the Nimai flower. That's why they called that girl the gentle heroine. Hearing this, 1-2 couldn't stand it and shouted, "Don't say those nonsense words. Look at that face and say she is a gentle heroine. She is a man, that's right. The Nimai sect that I know is not like that." Hearing that, Hong Seo-young hit him with a stick and yelled, "How can a Shaolin monk be so rude? They say monks are silent, right? Now I understand why the Shaolin school gave the job to this guy." 1-2 heard that and muttered, "No, it's not like that." On the other side, the junior sisters were congratulating Juha Jin for finding her true love. She shyly replied, "Don't be so rude, we just met." Someone asked, "Ha Jin's sister, do you really think you and Mei are destined for each other?" Hearing that, she replied, "Destiny, even if destiny stops me, I will break it and take him." On this side, Hong Seo-young saw that the martial arts of the Gan family did not suit Juha Jin's physique. Because the martial arts of the Gan family are based on external strength, only strong people can do it. So for someone who tries to rise up like Juha Jin, after finishing her research, she created a martial art using cloth instead of physique to make weapons. So the family criticized her martial arts for not belonging to the Gan family. Juha Jin left the family and gave up the marital way. Then she developed her martial arts and achieved the current prestige and reputation. But the problem is that her Fai Hongnan Song can be performed with only thin threads. Fai Hongnan Song can also be a puppet technique because it can control the opponent by transmitting internal strength into the thread. Moreover, she is very good at hiding her inner feelings. No one can understand. Since then, they called her the Fierce Girl. While talking, the assassins surrounded them. They started attacking. Hong Seo-young shouted, "Last time, you ran away like rats, today you dare to attack directly." The two sides fought for a while. Seeing that their side was weak, the leader of the assassins shouted, "I allow the whole team to use the pills." Hearing that, all the assassins took out a pill from their bodies and put it in their mouths. Hong Seo-young yelled, "What kind of pills are you using? Could it be the Dan Hon?" There were 50 assassins, but now there are only about 10 left. But after taking the pills, their strength exploded. 1-2 was fighting without paying attention and was seriously injured. Seeing that, Yagami shouted, "Uljin, come and see 1-2. Why do I have a bad feeling? I seem to have seen something like that before." At this time, at the Noxon house, someone was reporting, "Our leader has a lot of doubts about this mission." The other leader replied, "Just do your job, why are you worried?" His subordinate answered, "We have served the Yongchen Trade Association for 2 years, so there is not much problem, but the thing they are selling seems very dangerous." The other one replied, "True, but the more dangerous it is, the more attractive it is. And after you eat it, your strength will reach a new level. It helps strengthen you in exchange for your life force. It is specially made for adventurers like us." Hearing that, his subordinate answered, "Using it is indeed better than drinking poison to kill yourself." The leader laughed loudly. The day that this divine medicine spreads throughout the martial world is also the day that peace ends. On this side, the leader of the assassins smiled and said to Hong Seo-young, "I wonder if you can fight against my people." The leader of the adventurers took advantage of the threat to own X-Hun, the owner of the trade group, to make Nam Kung Mei rush to save him and then attacked him. Nam Kung Mei fell into the trap and was stabbed in the shoulder. He quickly jumped back but was still slashed twice by him. Just as he was about to slash the final blow to finish him off, Ju Ha-jin rushed to block him with a sword and said, "It seems I have fallen in love with a gentleman, then fallen down." The assassin saw that and was shocked. "I can't believe she took the blow to save your life. Isn't this what you call a dirty death?" Hearing that, Nam Kung Mei lost his mind and roared angrily. Even the assistant teacher saw it and shouted louder than the last time. Nam Kung Mei lost his mind, his strength erupted and quickly dealt with the two assassins, making the rest focus and deal with him. Hong Seo-young saw that and wondered why he turned to ask the assistant teacher, "What's wrong with that kid? Did he also take divine medicine?" The assistant teacher heard that and answered, "No, the first time he came to our martial arts school, he was also in that state." Hong Seo-young muttered. From the first time he thought that the life force of those assassins was slowly radiating, bringing a kind of powerful and boiling energy. But the energy radiating from that kid was not life force. It was more like life energy. Mao Ringbo thought it was like the last time he took the entrance exam. But his strength was different from then. Chi Gami thought that was not the Nam Kung Mei he knew, nor was it a secret that Nam Kung Jan had kept since he was a child. Everyone was pondering when Hong Seo-young shouted, "Why are you standing there? If you leave him like that, he will die. Go save him." But when Mao Ringbo and Chi Gami rushed over, it was also the time when all the assassins were defeated. Nam Kung Mei still couldn't tell and hit both of them out. At this time, the assistant teacher came up and said, "You guys back off and let me." On the other side, the leader of the assassins lay on the ground and coughed up blood. "I can't lose to these righteous bastards." Then he took a pill. Somewhere else, the masked master was standing with his hands clasped. "They should be here by now. What's going on? Wait a little longer and see." On this side, the assistant teacher was fighting with Nam Kung Mei when the leader of the assassins rushed to kill Nam Kung Mei. Luckily, the assistant teacher stopped him. While fighting, he found out that this leader was much stronger than the others. He was careless and got hit by them. Luckily Hong Seo-young rushed up to block and shouted, "We didn't know what they had eaten, but their strength had increased tremendously." He ordered Mao Ringbo and Ji Gami to deal with the leader, while he faced the leader alone. At that moment, the assassins somehow woke up. They stood up, but their bodies were dry and shriveled, and their strength had increased a lot. Assistant teacher John lay on the ground and couldn't move. He remembered the words of his master, the devil-faced one, before he left and wondered. He didn't know what to do. Just then, a voice rang out. "I was wondering why you didn't come, it's such a mess." Hearing this, everyone turned around and saw the devil-faced master. He walked over and looked around, then asked, "What did you eat?" Just then, an assassin rushed to attack him. He didn't hesitate and flicked a finger, and the assassin flew back and spat out a few teeth. He muttered, "So you are a bunch of beasts without reason, then I wonder if you are afraid of death." He finished and rushed into the crowd of assassins, killing them like flies. Even Hong Seo-young, who was watching from outside, exclaimed, "Those tough guys were killed like weeds. His energy is too terrifying." Everyone was amazed, even the students who doubted him before were convinced. At that time, only the leader of the assassins was left. The devil-faced master began to question him. "What did you eat and where did you get it?" He sat on the ground in fear and stammered, "Demon, demon." Just then, Nam Kung Mei rushed over from behind, but was grabbed by the devil-faced master and said, "Here is my naughty disciple, do you want me to teach you a lesson?" he said and knocked him out. Then he turned to ask the assassin again. Have you spoken yet? He was still in a state of fear and stammered. Go away, you monster. Then the devil-faced master lifted him up by the neck and said, I'll ask you one last time, what I want to know is what you ate and where you got it. Then he finally blurted out. It was blood fury pills. Before he could finish, he was crushed by the devil-faced master. Choices always come with responsibilities. I'm also responsible for the path I chose. In his dream, Nam Kung Mei met the red flame again. He turned into the shape when Nam Kung Mei lost his reason. He said that you couldn't even protect the person in front of you. Who are you protecting? You can't control your anger. You chose to become a monster. You can't protect yourself. You can't satisfy the expectations of others. A useless person like you can't do anything. Hearing that, Nam Kung Mei hugged his head and sat down, remembering the images of everyone around him. Just then, the image of the devil-faced master appeared and said to him, How far do you want to go? Stop and wake up now. He said and tapped his forehead. He woke up with a start, sweating and mumbling. A dream, was it all just a dream? At that time, Juha Jin was washing towels nearby and saw him wake up and exclaimed, Young Master Nam Kung Mei, are you awake? He was about to ask about the wound on her back, but before he could say anything, she ran away and said, I'll bring the doctor right away. Then she disappeared. He got out of bed and walked to the window, opened it and looked out to see where he was. He had just opened it and hadn't said anything when a voice outside the window said, What are you marveling at? He jumped and screamed. What are you doing out here, master? He sighed and said, I told you to practice the reverse flow, but you are still in that state. It's also my fault, I didn't pay attention to that. So I decided to teach you the martial arts that I created myself. Hearing that, he exclaimed, The martial arts of the master himself? At this time, he said, Your father has agreed, now it's your turn to decide. Do you want to become my official disciple? Hearing that, he clenched his fist and answered firmly, Yes, master. He heard that and replied, Then forget about the formalities, after all, I'm also the master of the Thai group. Keep this a secret from everyone. Hearing him agree, he continued, Hung, I also heard that something happened when I was away. You almost died protecting a child, right? He touched his head and said, It's a strange outcome, but it's good. Just then, the rest of the Thai class pushed the door and ran in shouting, Nam Kung Mei. Seeing him standing by the window, they said, Why are you walking around when you haven't recovered yet? He was about to say that there was a master there, but he didn't see the master anymore, so he gave up. The doctor also came in and took his pulse. He exclaimed in disbelief, It's amazing, the young master here has recovered very fast. Juha Jin stood next to him and asked if he was sure that he was fine now. The doctor answered, Yes, miss. He is very well now, he just needs to restore his energy. Hearing that, she frowned and leaned her face close to him and said, Can you swear on that? The doctor was scared and answered, Yes, I swear. Yagami stood next to him and said, Nam Kung Mei, I know it's not polite to ask you now, but do you have any secrets? Hearing that, he hesitated and was about to say that he had a master, but he saw the master hanging from the ceiling and gesturing to him to be quiet. He then said there was nothing. Can I say something like that? At this time, on the roof, the master with a devil face was standing with Hong Seo Young. He asked, Where have you been for so many years? I haven't seen your face. The master with a devil face answered, Long time no see, Hong Seo Young. The leader heard that and laughed. Leader what? I was only a temporary leader for 3 months when there was a war. And it's been a long time since then. The master with a devil face answered, Temporary leader or not, you are still a leader. Hearing that, he said, how to say, I have given up the leader position to someone more capable. And besides, it turns out that the legendary master with a devil face looks like this when he takes off his mask. I have to tell the gang about this news. The master with a devil face smiled and answered, I'm also ashamed, but anyway, I'm not a person of Black Flower person anymore. I heard that Black Flower has disbanded, so I was entrusted with the task of handling the information. He said. Hearing that, the master with a devil face asked about the information of the blood explosion pill. He handed him a box and said, are you asking about this? Didn't you go looking for it and just came back? The master with a devil face took the box and answered, that's right, I just came back from there. He remembered that there was a bloody battle there. When he arrived, everyone was dead, the scene was full of corpses and blood-written words. The master with a devil face had been here, he continued to say. There is a problem here, there are 2 traces, one was deliberately left behind and one was dealt with. Hong Seo-young heard that and answered. That means there are many people involved in this, then it's only the Young Trian Trade Association. Let's go and find out. He waved his goodbye to the master with a devil face and left. The investigation results were announced later. Then a group of masked people targeted the Thai class. They were assassins hired by the leader of the Young Trian Association to eliminate the Suk trade group. And the purpose was also to spread the blood explosion pill. To cope with them, the Martial Arts Alliance immediately formed an investigation team and went to the headquarters of the Young Trian Trading Group. But all those involved were dead, and there was no trace left. The Red Army, under the management of the Martial Arts Alliance, continued to take over the investigation. At the martial arts headquarters, the masters were competing to tell about the achievements of their class, and no one gave way. At this time, the leader of the alliance Wang Jun entered, his name was Daga Sunday. The younger brother of the head of the Daga clan, Nam Daga, also entered. They both said that this experience would be a valuable asset for the future of their section. Wang Jun heard that and said, thank you all, master of the rat class. Juhui stood up and asked why you asked all 12 masters to be present, but there are only 10 people here. Hearing that, he replied, do you know why not? Both of them are very valued by others, one of them is my 20-year-old friend with the nickname Devil Face. And the other one is Fong Bao Kim Ju Bik Hoa. Everyone was shocked and wondered why a person in the top 3 superiors reached the realm of No Hook and became a teacher here. Wang Jun continued. I don't know either. 3 months ago, one day he came to me and asked to be a master. If not, he would lie down and eat here. He said he had found a successor, but that person refused him. And seeing that person come here, he wanted to be a master here. To choose a successor in the younger class, that's it. So the masters here all need to work hard and teach the kids well so they don't get looked down on by the disciples of Fong Bao Kim and Devil Face. At this time, at the dormitory of the Thai class, the open area of Fong Bao Kim Ju Bik Hoa was sitting on a rock watching the students of the Thai class who had just finished practicing. At this time, he suddenly looked at Nam Kung Mei and said, you still need a solid foundation. Everyone at this time looked up at the rock and saw him but didn't know who he was. He asked Mei again. What's your name? What class are you in? Not seeing him answer, he pointed to Mao Ring Bo and asked. What's your name? What class are you in? He heard that and answered, I am Mao Ring Bo of the Mao Ring clan. Hearing that, he approached and hugged him to check and said. People of the prestigious clan are different, the physique is very good. Judging by this, you are stronger than my disciple, but let me check more. As soon as he finished speaking, his eyes showed murderous intent, and he saw blood dripping from the corner of Mao Ring Bo's mouth. Nam Kong Mei shouted. Stop it. Hearing that, he turned to look at Mei and said. Can you be quiet? But as soon as he finished speaking, he exclaimed. Ah, look, there is a strange stream of energy in his body. Then he flew to Mei. This class has a lot of interesting people, what class are you in? He was about to reach out and grab Mei's body, but another hand appeared from nowhere and grabbed his hand and said, "It's the Thai class, they are my disciples." Ju Bik Hoa heard that and exclaimed, "Ah, so you are the master of Devil Face." The two talked and explored each other, and a handshake made the ground around them collapse. The students saw that and wondered who he was. His spiritual power was terrible. 1-2 said, "I've seen him before. He came to the temple to find wine and then caused a commotion. That time, the abbot called him Fong Bao Kim." Everyone exclaimed, "Fong Bao Kim, is it Fong Bao Kim?" On this side, the master of Devil Face was fighting with Fong Bao Kim and said, "Fong Bao Kim, do you want to continue?" Fong Bao Kim replied, "I'm just a little surprised, Devil Face, I didn't expect you to have so much spiritual power," he said, and the two let go of each other. The devil-faced man continued, "When I heard that someone wanted to be a master here, I was very surprised." Fong Baojian replied, "Me too, one of the best assassins in the world became a master." Ju Ha-jin suddenly rushed in from outside and hugged Nam Kung Mei, asking with a worried voice, "This jade-like body is missing its owner, are you okay? Are you hurt?" Fong Baojian turned to look at Ju Ha-jin and evaluated in his head. A wild energy overflowing with a body as hard as gold. That was the body of martial arts bestowed by heaven. Then he quickly reached out and asked, "What is your name? Which class do you belong to?" The devil-faced master stepped forward and said, "That lady's name is Ju Ha-jin, she belongs to the Nami section." He muttered, "Isn't the Nami sect only accepting female disciples?" Then he looked at Ju Ha-jin again and exclaimed, "No way, sorry. Oh, how embarrassing, I guess I have to give up on you. Because you are a disciple of one of the great sections." Then he said goodbye to the devil-faced master and left. Before leaving, he said, "It was interesting, especially your disciples. The Thai class, right? Very promising, and from now on I think my candidate is more powerful than your disciples." After saying that, he left. Yagami stepped forward and asked the master, "Is he really Fong Baojian?" If he was really Fong Baojian, then it was too much. Before he finished his sentence, the devil-faced man answered, "Yes, he is. The Supreme Long Thuot can bring him to the level of the Super Trio even though he is still very young. That's why he has to choose his successor very carefully. And there is no better place than here. Alright, Thai class, listen carefully. There is a very important announcement in the meeting of the masters. All disciples of Bok Vo Duong must participate in the Bok Vo Thuot exam." In another place, Fong Baojian walked and muttered, "He is the devil-faced man, huh? Choosing to come here was really the right decision." Looking down, he saw that his pants were torn and a large patch behind, revealing a pair of big feet from who knows when. The Bok Vo Thuot exam is a martial arts exam to find talented people who can lead the orthodox sect in the future. Of the 12 classes, only 6 classes are allowed to participate in the final round. The qualifying round will be held next year. In the qualifying round, you will have to fight and win as a team to advance to the final round. In the final round, you will fight individually, so in the qualifying round you will be teammates. But in the final round, you will become enemies. Yagami said, "So if the whole team loses, then no matter how talented you are, you can't advance to the final round. So from now on, we have to focus on training in formation, right?" The devil-faced master replied, "No, fighting in formation is very formidable. But it also has a weakness. What if one of you gets injured? What if the enemy exploits our weakness? What if our formation is broken and the enemy ambushes us? I used to be an assassin, what do you think I will teach you?" The members of the Black Flower Alliance all have their own training methods. From now on, I will pass them on to you. Everyone started to practice according to the master's instructions. The first exercise was like a puppy learning to walk. The master turned his back to everyone, and everyone moved. But when he turned back, anyone who was still moving would be eliminated. At first, everyone was puzzled, but the master explained that this training method was similar to how turtles breathe. You will learn how to hide your existence. This is an important training method that the people of the Black Flower Alliance can learn very quickly. If you can hide yourself in a chaotic battle, do you know how beneficial this is? A small difference can decide life and death. Nam Kongmei said. This is harder than I thought. If I try to stop moving, my body will tremble uncontrollably. If I use spiritual power to stand still, the amount of spiritual power consumed will be too large and the concentration will. He was interrupted by Yagami's loud shout. No, this is clearly a childish game. But at night, the master met Nam Kongmei alone outside the training ground. When he got there, he said, Master, I'm looking forward to today's lesson. He replied, What I have taught you so far is how to concentrate all the scattered power in your body to the dantian. He sat down and started to practice according to the master's instructions. At this point, he realized that it was true. When he gathered all the power in his body, his dantian also became larger. It was not like the meager amount of power he had before. The master continued. So from now on, I will teach you the reverse origin technique, which is also my original martial art. No one has been able to inherit this original martial art yet. The first stage of the reverse origin technique is reverse flow. The beginning of the reverse origin technique is already against nature. This stage of reverse flow may scare you. But this time, your life may be in danger. Hearing this, Nam Kongmei said, Master, I'm ready. The master smiled. That's right, you are the son of a prestigious family. You are crazy to go against the flow. It's time to do something crazier. The next stage is to have positive flow and reverse flow at the same time. As he said, he ran 2 streams of energy into his 2 hands. On the other hand, a massacre occurred, and the Red Army was chasing the culprit, and assistant teacher Jiang was also there. On the way, he suddenly felt a stream of energy that was exactly like the devil-faced master. He rushed over and met a person who looked like him, even the clothes, mask, and weapons were the same. After a fight, assistant teacher Jiang finally lost and lay on the ground. He asked him, Why do you impersonate the devil-faced master? After a moment of silence, he said, So you are also deceived, the devil-faced master there is fake. Assistant teacher Jiang stammered. How can it be faked? The other person just said don't get in my way, Red Army at the White Martial Hall. At this time, Nam Kongmei and Wan Pu were walking in the yard when they met Ji Piong, Nam Kongmei's younger brother. Nam Kongmei asked him what was going on today, as it looked quite lively. Suddenly, someone shouted. Which groups will make it to the final round of the White Martial Arts competition? The betting for the martial arts contest organized by the Rooster class is officially open. If the classes that you bet on make it to the final match, we will double your money. Just then, Tang Weiju and Han Muji from the Pig class arrived. Tang Weiju looked at Nam Kongmei and said, I bet 100 silver coins that the Rat class will be eliminated. Because you are a piece of trash in that group. I don't think anyone can help you now. Wan Pu spoke up. Aren't you the one who had his finger broken by Mao Ring Bo? Han Muji next to him yelled. You bastard pig, how dare you stick your nose in? You come from Shaolin Temple, so you act arrogant and agree that Shaolin Temple sounds good. But do you think you are good too? Wan Pu also retorted. Do you think you are great because you come from the Tang family of Xian, you ass kisser? Hearing that, Han Muji couldn't take it anymore. The two started to fight. Everyone turned to look. Just then, a dagger flew in and stuck between the two. A voice rang out. "Stop right here, no unauthorized fights are allowed." Everyone was stunned and didn't know who it was. Ji Pyong said that it was someone from the rat class. Nam Kung Mei wondered and asked who they were. They were one of the groups in the martial hall. But they were on guard duty. Ji Pyong answered that it was just their hobby. Another person spoke up. "If you want to fight, then fight fair and square, fight in the white martial arts competition. But if you continue to fight, you will have to step over our bodies first." Hearing that, Hun Muji said to Tang Weiju. "Weiju, the rat class is here, what should we do?" Tang Weiju showed contempt and said, "Even better, they just run around the groups acting like heroes. I want to teach them a lesson." Then he shouted, "Come and fight me, you trash." At this time, 5 people jumped out and shouted, "Protect justice, the 5 great heroes. From now on, we will stop you from disrupting the order of the White Martial Hall." Tang Weiju and Hun Muji from the pig class heard that and rushed to both sides to fight. Outside, Pu said, "Is it because they are brothers that their teamwork spirit is so amazing?" Ji Pyong replied, "The members of the rat class don't really have individual skills, but when they fight together, they are said to be as strong as a peak martial arts master." Just then, Hun Muji couldn't resist anymore and fell down. The rat class looked at Tang Weiju and said, "You only know how to hide behind your allies and sneakily throw weapons. It turns out that the Tang family of Xian is only this level. Nothing can stand up to justice." Tang Weiju was angry and moved his hand while thinking, "These trash dare to be arrogant like this. I will show them how scary the Tang family is." Nam Kung Mei saw that and shouted, "Be careful, everyone back off, that's poison technique." Hearing that, everyone who was watching ran away in panic. The captain of the rat class yelled, "Stop it, don't let it harm the people around you. Brothers, use your spiritual power to surround the poison." Nam Kung Mei outside saw that and thought, "That's not good, surrounding the poison will only drain their spiritual power. If they don't stop it quickly." At this moment, 5 people from Class T were surrounded and one of them was injured and flew out. Fortunately, Nam Kung Mei quickly jumped up and caught him. But he discovered that this person seemed to be a girl. On this side, the members of Class T lost 1 person, and the balance was broken. Seeing that everyone was in danger, Nam Kung Mei handed the person over to Pu to take care of and then joined the fight. When the situation was tense, the master of Class T, Sugo, appeared and shouted, "You only got bitten by a dog, but you used all your strength." Then he drove everyone away. He said to all the students, "Follow me to the fire hall." When they arrived, Nam Kung Mei explained the situation. He said, "Class T did nothing wrong, this is the fault of me and Tang Weiju. I will accept any punishment. But to end the old grudge between Tang Weiju and me, I request an official duel." The master of Class T, Sugo, heard this and said, "You just confessed everything without blaming anyone. I'm quite impressed. You request an official duel, huh? Interesting. Tang Weiju, do you accept this challenge?" Hearing this, Tang Weiju hesitated and said, "Please allow me to use poison techniques in the duel." Hearing this, the master turned to ask Nam Kung Mei, "Do you agree?" Nam Kung Mei did not hesitate and said, "I don't object, because if he can't use poison techniques, he won't accept the result." Hearing this, the master said, "Okay, I agree with the duel between Nam Kung Mei and Tang Weiju. Let's go to the practice field." Everyone went to the practice field. Standing on the stage, Tang Weiju said, "Do you really think you can beat me in a martial arts match?" Nam Kung Mei replied, "If it was before, I would never think so, but now everything is different. Now we will start the duel between Tang Weiju and Nam Kung Mei. I am Sugo and I will be the witness for this match. Wind, inner, extreme, poison, water, Tang Weiju shouted and then rushed up. Nam Kong Mei recognized this move. He had used it last time but was defeated by Mi Young Bo. He tried to apply the same technique, but unexpectedly Tang Weiju had prepared and hit him with a palm and poisoned him. Everyone outside saw this and worried, but the people of Class T reassured. Don't worry, justice won't lose so easily. In the match, Tang Weiju was laughing and said, the more you use spiritual power, the more the poison will destroy your spiritual circulation. You will have to endure pain more terrifying than death. Let's end it here, you trash. He said and rushed to attack, but strangely Nam Kong Mei was still able to use spiritual power. Even Mei felt strange. He thought, could it be that when the poison entered my body, the energy in my dantian burned it and used poison to cure it? Everyone outside also didn't understand what was going on. 1-2 said, clearly he was poisoned by Tang Weiju, but there was no sign of poisoning at all. Hearing this, Ji Piang said, if there is no sign at all, could it be that Big Brother is immune to all poisons? 1-2 said, it doesn't look like immunity to all poisons, but I hope so. The Master of Class T also said. Amazingly, I even prepared an antidote for him. Could it be because of the devil face? At this time, Nam Kong Mei counterattacked and punched Tang Weiju in the face, making him bleed from his mouth and retreat. Taking advantage of the situation, Nam Kong Mei attacked continuously. He was shocked and thought, how could this be possible? The poison had no effect. He was attacked and wounded all over, he thought. Damn it, I will use one of the 8 extreme poisons of the Tang family, the heat death poison, to kill you. The venomous spider is a kind of deadly poison extracted from a 2-headed scorpion. Just a slight touch and the toxin will spread throughout the blood vessels in the body. If the antidote is not taken within 2 hours, the poisoned person will die. This is one of the 8 great deadly poisons that only the young master of the Tang clan can use. Nam Kong Mei felt uneasy. The atmosphere changed. His senior apprentice brother was shocked and said, bone poison, cover your nose and mouth and get away from the arena right away. The spectators hurriedly retreated. Nam Kong Mei was surrounded by a thick fog of poison. From within the fog, Tang Weiju threw a dart and then jumped out with a poison knife and slashed at Nam Kong Mei. Nam Kong Mei was hit by the knife and screamed. At this moment, his senior apprentice brother rushed in and shouted, what are you doing, Tang Weiju? Nam Kong Mei lay on the ground, clutching his wounded arm and moaning in pain and vomiting blood. He remembered the words of his master, the devil-faced man. The flow of positive and negative energy at the same time. Negative energy carries a great risk of damaging the meridians because they can twist together. But using positive and negative energy at the same time is even more dangerous. It can make your body explode like a bomb. But don't worry, in case your body explodes, I have prepared golden needles and herbs for you. I will teach you in my own way. Like a devil-faced man, hit and break it and then stand up. Thinking of this, he clenched his fist and thought he would hit it as his master said, like he burned the poison of Tang Weiju earlier. He would also burn this poison. He felt the fire and ice energy, they were destroying his meridians. He could do it, he would burn everything. He said and began to circulate his energy. On this side, Master Sugo was holding Tang Weiju by the collar and shouted. Give me the antidote quickly, the match will end here. You little bastard, how dare you use the 8 great deadly poisons? Do you too want to be expelled from the White Martial Hall? Just then, Nam Kong Mei's elder brother came and said loudly. I request the match to continue. The people were astonished and turned around. Ji Piang saw him and said, this is Nam Kong Il, the elder brother of Nam Kong Mei. He saw that and said. You also came here, don't tarnish the reputation of the Nam Kong clan and keep quiet. Anyway, no one cares about an outsider. He approached Master Sugo and said, I am Nam Kong Il of the Nam Kong clan. Master Sugo heard that and said, Nam Kong Il, you are the elder brother of Nam Kong Mei. His current condition is dangerous. How can you request to continue the fight? The two men burst out their spiritual energy. Master Sugo was shocked and thought, he is clearly a junior, but his spiritual power is equal to mine. How? A junior shouted. He is the champion of the last Dragon and Phoenix exam. His strength is not inferior to Master. Lock to it is really powerful. Master Sugo said, this is not the time for us to do this. Now we have to quickly give Namkong-mei the antidote and take him to the medical hall right away. Namkong-il said. The Namkong clan is the strongest clan among the 5 great clans, and also the heavenly clan that leads the way to heaven. If that child dies gloriously in a match, it is the pride of the whole clan. The people heard that and were horrified. Master Sugo thought. This kid is not normal at all. This is the common problem of the 5 great clans. Just then, Namkong-mei behind him burst out his spiritual power and stood up and said. The match is not over yet. Let's finish the rest, Tang Weiju. Master Sugo observed and saw that his spiritual power was stable. Could it be that he had overcome that deadly poison? He had to pay more attention to him and shouted. The match continues. Everyone had a different thought in their head. As they were about to fight, Namkong-mei saw his elder brother here. He said, no matter what words or actions are wrong and lack strength in the White Martial Hall, they will tarnish our clan. After 3 months, I will voluntarily return. At this moment, he understood the problem. He thought he had to show his elder brother that he was not as weak as before. He thought and fought. This time Namkong-mei completely dominated. As he fought, he thought he would prove his existence, not a waste of the Namkong clan, but himself. The people outside were constantly amazed. P1-2 said, this spiritual power is like when Namkong-mei had a fit of rage last time, right? Ji-pyong replied, this time is different from last time. In another place, the devil-faced master looked up at the sky and muttered. Oh, he learned it, huh? That's why I said you shouldn't trust the clan's evaluation. How can a child like that be called a waste? On this side, Tang Weiju was continuously punched in the face. He thought, I lost, huh? Is he really Namkong-mei? Who is he in the end? Before falling to the ground and fainting, he only managed to say, what the hell are you? And then he passed out. I am the disciple of the devil-faced master, Namkong-mei. Namkong-mei stood and watched. Tang Weiju was carried away on a stretcher. Master Sugo declared, based on the result of the duel, that the person responsible for the incident last time was Tang Weiju of the pig class. Namkong-mei took the antidote and returned to the snake class. Then, because he committed the serious crime of using one of the 8 great poisons, Tang Weiju was expelled from the White Martial Hall. That night, Tang Weiju quietly left the White Martial Hall. Namkong-mei held the antidote and thought. I don't need the antidote. The fever poison has completely disappeared from my body. Thanks to the elixir field absorbing all the poison, my spiritual energy has also increased. How did I suddenly become so strong? I'll keep the antidote for now. P1-2 came over and said, what's that expression? Are you thinking of something dark? Namkong-mei quickly replied. No, I'm not. Let's go back. It's dinner time. At this time, the classmates of the snake class clasped their hands and said, Warrior Mei, thank you very much. Mei hurriedly said, it's nothing. I just told the truth. And about the duel, I did that for myself. Everyone heard that and replied. You are too modest. In that situation, even if you betrayed us, we would understand. We are really touched. We are glad to know that besides the 5 great heroes, there are still other righteous people. We will not forget this kindness. Then everyone left. Just then, I had just brewed a very good cup of tea. The devil-faced master said to Namkong-il. Namkong-il replied. It's an honor to meet you, Senior Devil-Faced. You don't have to talk to me like that. Hearing this, the devil-faced master asked. So do you know anything about me? Namkhon-il replied. My father had told me before. He had come to beg my father to let me take my brother back. He said that my brother's disciple was a person of the White Martial Hall, and if I wanted to take the kid back, I had to get the permission of that person. Then he continued. So the reason I came to see you today is to take my brother away from the White Martial Hall. The devil-faced master replied. You want to take Namkhon-mei away, huh? Okay, fine, but there's one condition. Just 1 month, be the assistant coach of the snake class. After that, you can take Namkhon-mei away or do whatever you want. The next morning, he led him to the snake class and told everyone. This is the young master Namkhon-il. From today on, he will temporarily hold the position of assistant coach. I am Namkhon-il, also known as the Rising Dragon Sword. I hope you will help me. Namkhon-mei saw that and thought. Why is Big Brother here as an assistant coach? Everyone left to practice. Mao Ringbo was practicing swordsmanship. He thought he had to give up the secret manual. He had to learn the soft technique when using this sword. Just then, Namkhon-il came from behind and greeted the two who were talking. Namkhon-il asked. Why do you want to give up the secret manual? If you only pursue the soft technique, you won't achieve anything. Hearing that, Mao Ringbo asked. What should I do then? Namkhon-il replied. Hard and soft are not separate. You have to let the sword flow with the hard and soften it. In the soft, you don't lose the hard. You transfer the hard energy into the sword and create spiritual power with the soft energy. As he spoke, he demonstrated for him to see. Chigami saw that and also came forward to greet him. Namkhon-il brother, long time no see. Chigami's sister is also in the snake class. Namkhon-il replied. On this side, the devil-faced master came to visit assistant teacher Zhang. He said that he had found a fool, I mean a very talented person to replace your position. You can rest. Hearing that, he was surprised for a moment and then turned to ask. Do you know how the members of the Nightflower Alliance are living now? The master heard that and replied. Who knows? Those people are all weird and eccentric. There is one who always moans about wanting to go home. There's also one whose thoughts I can't guess. After the Great War, only a few of them survived. But they were freed from the life closest to death. So they should be fine, right? Hearing that, assistant teacher Zhang hesitated and said. I'm sorry to say this, but I think the one who made me like this is one of the members of the Fake Flower Alliance. At the 10,000 Great Mountain. Report to the deputy leader. There is someone who looks very much like him. He attacked and all the members were killed. The other person replied. Are you sure? Yes, according to the witness, that person overcame the difficulty of wearing a devil mask. The other person shouted. Devil-faced, it's you again. The subordinate replied. Please don't be angry. I haven't made a deal with the peasants yet. I've been preparing for that for a while. The other person replied. Isn't making a pact with too many of them going to expose us? The subordinate replied. That's why we all have to start moving at the same time. If the whole Young be bombs, it will be easy to make mistakes in tracking us. The other person replied. Fine, let me see what you can do. On the side of the class, everyone was sitting and discussing. 1-2 said. Assistant coach Namkhon-il is so cool. Mao Ringbo replied. He analyzed our weaknesses and mistakes accurately. 1-2 continued. Not only accurate, but he also explained everything in detail. I understand him better than the way the devil-faced master teaches. Yagami spoke up. According to my mother, he is one of the innate martial arts geniuses that only appear once in 100 years. Nam Kong Sian's sister defeated the bandits of Luksun province in Anhui in just 5 days. They will be a strong wall that everyone who has enrolled in the martial arts school must overcome. At this time, everyone turned to look at Nam Kong Mei and teased him happily. You must have your own talent. Nam Kong Mei is not a genius, but he is still trying. Nam Kong Mei is stupid. We are thinking like losers again. Damn it. Big brother outside saw that and thought. When he was at home, he never smiled like that. Something must have changed. Well, something must have changed, but that won't change my decision to take him home. But why did the devil-faced master give me these kids and then go somewhere? On this side, after hearing assistant teacher Zhang say that, the master left to find out who that person was. First, I should find the black flower. At an inn, the leader of the Furious, one of the top 100 martial arts Gosu, was just a normal worker. But people thought he came from the demon sect because he went crazy every time he drank. However, when he was sober, he was very polite and calm. He was asking a scholar, "Why do you want to find the Tanbai tree?" The scholar said, "He is the devil-faced master." He continued, "I want to see him, the one called the Tansy tree. You will lead me to him, right?" The leader of the madmen replied angrily, "Listen carefully, you sicko. Pretend you have never heard of that name, or you might die without anyone knowing." As soon as he finished speaking, he was beaten by the devil-faced master, who said, "I'll say it again, take me to the Tansy tree." The devil-faced master walked in thought. When did the leader of the madmen become a member of the House Association? He knew that the House Association was founded by the lower class of society. It was more of a trading agency that specializes in buying and selling information than an association. If someone said that the beggar sect had beggars who collected information during the day, then someone else would say that the beggar sect hunted for information at night. When he arrived at the inn, the master went straight into a room. The person sitting in the room saw him and said, "It seems that you have recognized my presence, very sharp intuition." The master smiled and replied, "Long time no see, Olalu of the Dark Point." At night at the school, Nam Kung Mei was practicing when his senior brother suddenly attacked him from behind. He could not resist, and Nam Kung Mei was beaten by his senior brother, who said, "You should tell the devil-faced master that you will go back home." Nam Kung Mei shouted, "I don't want to." Then he unleashed his power. His senior brother was shocked. How can two completely different energies appear at the same time? What did the devil-faced master do to you? At this moment, Nam Kung Mei shouted, "Heavenly Sword Art, the first technique, Twin Dragon Binding Fist." His older brother said, "You still only know how to use the Twin Dragon Binding Fist." He shouted, "Penetrating Hand, Cross Fight." After a while, his senior brother asked, "Do you still want to continue?" Nam Kung Mei answered, "Senior brother, I really don't know when and how to give up." His senior brother sighed, "I really can't make you stop being stubborn." "Fine, I won't force you, but there is one condition. As an assistant teacher, I will try my best to teach Mao Ring Bo for a month. After a month, if you can defeat Mao Ring Bo in a martial arts contest, I will let you stay at the White Martial Hall." Elsewhere, the devil-faced master was explaining, "Why don't you believe me?" The other person attacked and yelled, "How dare you impersonate our leader? I don't know who sent you here, but they must have given you wrong information." The leader of the masked demons is a handsome man. The masked demon master thought, "I have never shown my face to him, what is he talking about? Forget it, I will force him to believe what I say." Then he unleashed his power. The other person was shocked by this source of power. Could it be the original reverse technique of the leader? Impossible. Before he finished speaking, he was knocked down by the masked demon master. He crawled on the ground and said as he got up, "The energy source you just attacked me with is the original reverse technique. Are you really our leader? He took off his mask. Then the masked demon master said, "Why are you late?" He replied, "I brought wine and meat here. You are really our leader. You are very powerful and reliable." The master replied, "That's the past, just the past. You are the intelligence agent of the Dark Flower Alliance, right? How can you believe such nonsense rumors?" The other person replied, "Oh, it's because Dark Plumflower said he accidentally saw your face. This is a sketch of your portrait based on what he saw. Why did you come to see me? I thought it was better for us not to keep in touch." The master replied, "Dark Flower Cat, you must know what the other members are doing, right?" The other person replied, "The others? Do you mean the horrible incidents in some families?" The master continued, "I heard that a masked demon impostor pretended to be me. I have to find out his identity." The other person said, "Leader, you don't know, we don't have any resentment towards you for leaving us." The master replied, "Yes, that's the personality of the people when I was a member of the Dark Flower Alliance. Helping you is natural. But let's clear this up first. I'm not a member of the Dark Flower Alliance anymore. If you want to use me, you have to pay me." The massacre has been spread all over the central continent. The bandits, who have recently gained a lot of infamy, have been killed in many places. We found their corpses along with traces of sword wounds and other weapons. Because there are many types of weapons used to kill them, we can't identify who did it. There's only one clue left, the words carved in blood. I also agree that there is a possibility that the masked demon impostor was once in the Dark Flower Alliance. But with the traces of the weapons, we can't tell which one of them did it. You trained us to use all kinds of weapons, so we can keep our identity secret. Anyway, wherever that masked demon impostor appears, there is always that thing. That thing. Have you ever heard of the explosive energy pill? It is a kind of drug that is secretly circulated in the central continent. It is known as a drug that enhances your power instantly. After swallowing it, anyone would search for it. The master replied, "I have seen someone swallow it, but he did not stop even when he lost his consciousness and exhausted his core energy. That is not a normal medicine, but why do people search for it so much?" The other person answered, "I don't know what effects it has besides enhancing, but its purpose is not to increase internal power, but to make the warriors fearless of death. There are many people who continue to advance and live for revenge." The master said, "So you are saying that the explosive energy pills were found where the fake demon face appeared?" The other person answered, "Yes, I don't know why, but you will find out when you meet him in person." At that moment, a pigeon with a letter flew in. The other person read the letter and said, "You will be able to find out the identity of the fake demon face faster than you think. The explosive energy pills have appeared." On this side, Nam Kung Il was talking with Mao Ring Bo. They had made a deal. Nam Kung Il would guide Mao Ring Bo to advance, but in return, after a month, he had to fight with Nam Kung Mei. After the exchange, they started to practice real combat against each other. He was defeated many times, but Mao Ring Bo also learned a lot. Solyang is a small state located in Samsang. Here, the state lord went crazy and killed everyone after taking the pill. At that time, the demon face master also arrived and stopped him, but he still died. The master looked at the graves. He had muttered those words many times. The master remembered the words of the other person. Wherever the fake demon face appeared, there was always a golden energy explosion. He suddenly thought that he could find such a person, soon. But he did not know that they were too few. Next was Satrian, but he did not like to go to Satrian. The waiter who was cleaning nearby asked the other person, "Sir, I have a question. Why did you lie to that thin and sick man? The guy he was looking for had also come here before." The other person answered, "That is obvious. We can make more money if it takes more time to find him. So he knew the fake demon face, but he hid it from the demon face master. On this side of the class, because Union was weaker than everyone else, he became the focus of Nam Kung Il's talk. In the training sessions, Nam Kung Mei comforted and asked her about the medical faction. The medical faction originated from a village that had used the art of medicine and medical skills from generation to generation. In fact, this faction was more inclined to be doctors than fighters. To save the wounded in the war, the medical faction was sent to the battlefield, but they could not survive with only the art of medicine. So while healing the fighters, they learned martial arts and created a faction. And the reason Union came here was also because the martial roots of the medical faction were still weak, so they let her come here to learn the basics. On this side, the Mao class was training. Some people gathered and carried a large stone, making everyone amazed. Even Fong Bao Kim, who was nearby, was attracted. But at that moment, the girl Yuren shouted, "I want to see young Master Nam Kung Mei right now, I can't stand it anymore." She left everyone and ran away. Seeing that, Fong Bao Kim, who was free, also ran after her. On the other side, Nam Kung Mei was practicing alone. He read the second letter as Master left. It said that the next step of the two-way split was to combine the two external energy sources. We call this step reverse red flower, maximizing the thrust of the two different characteristics to increase the true energy, which is also to oppose nature at the same time. After reading, he started practicing. At the climax, the imbalance of power between the two sides caused an explosion. Miss Orion rushed to catch Nam Kung Mei, causing her to get injured. Fong Bao Kim also arrived in time to help her bandage. When he finished, he asked Nam Kung Mei what kind of martial art she was practicing. Nam Kung Mei hesitated for a while and said softly, "I'm sorry, I can't tell you that." Hearing that, Fong Bao Kim replied cheerfully, "That's right, it's not right to tell others about your master's martial arts. But the process is too dangerous to practice alone." Hearing that, she told him about her martial arts match with Mao Ringbo after a month. "So that's why you're trying to push yourself and overcome this step?" Fong Bao Kim said, "I don't know what kind of martial art you're learning, but it seems to me that it's not balanced." Nam Kung Mei asked in surprise. "Balanced?" Fong Bao Kim continued. "Your young energy is too strong and it will break the balance. To overcome that, you will need strong in energy. Is there any way to achieve that?" Just then, Orion, who was unconscious next to them, sat up and shouted, "Yes, there is." It startled the two of them. She continued, "What you need is strong energy, right?" The next morning, the whole group went to the field to see the schedule for the qualifying round. Their opponent this time was the Su class. Just then, the Su class's Ianung and the Su class's Healthy stood next to each other and talked. The Su class's Healthy said, "Our big brother will surely win, they must be so weak that they have to hide and run away, ha." Someone standing next to them shouted, "Bastards, what the hell are you talking about? I'm Yagami from the T class, the class that you think is lucky." They exchanged words for a while, then Jigami rushed to slap the Su class's Ianung, surprising him. He rushed to punch back but Yagami dodged it. The punch hit Nam Kung Mei's face. At that moment, Nam Kung Mei was thinking about Orion's words about using ice energy. "This is pure and powerful in energy," she said. "I heard about it when the Martial Alliance was newly established. We gave one of the pure ice crystals." Hearing that, Fong Bao Kim said, "Leave this to me to find out, come back here tonight." Nam Kung Mei thought that she was not sure if she could control the strong yang energy with the pure ice crystal. If she didn't have the permission of her master Kui Dain, would it be okay? Just then, the fist hit her and woke her up. Everyone shouted, "Nam Kung Mei." But Nam Kung Mei bowed her head and said to the other person, "I'm sorry. I must have bumped into you when I was thinking." It made the Su class's Ionung think that she was mocking him and wanted to punch her again, but he was stopped by the master Sugo, who came from nowhere and yelled, "I've told you that any fight that is not an official martial arts competition is not allowed in the White Martial Hall. How many times do I have to repeat that?" Everyone saw the master of the T-class Sugo and ran away, leaving only a few members of the Tai class. The Tai class is also a bunch of students. Forget it. If you don't want to be eliminated, you should know your place until the competition starts. When the master left, Yagami came up and asked Nam Kung Mei, "Are you okay? I heard a loud noise earlier." Nam Kung Mei answered, "Oh, but I don't think I'm hurt." But why were they so angry? Ju Ji-young thought that he got punched and probably lost his memory. Mao Ringbo outside was amazed and thought, "Not hurt at all?" On the way back, the Su class's Ionung didn't say a word. He walked and thought, "I was the one who punched him, but in the end, the one who broke the bone was me. Who the hell is he?" At night, the three of them, Fong Bao Kim, Aaron, Nam Kung Mei, met again on the training ground. Fong Bao Kim led them to the pure ice crystal. He walked and looked at Nam Kung Mei, who said, "The pure ice freezes everything around it. As long as you control the airflow, you can absorb the energy of the pure ice." Aaron answered, "That's right, the pure ice is called the treasure of the North Sea, the lonely heart of the Russian section. It is a cultivation method that can transform internal power into yang energy." Fong Bao Kim replied, "But isn't that going to disrupt the harmony of yin and yang?" Aaron continued, "Anyway, the martial arts of the Russian sect do not care about the harmony. The Russian sect is a sect that takes Buddhism as the root. The disciples follow the teachings of the Buddha because they have grasped the laws of nature and transcended the rules of the yang world. To be able to master the martial arts of the Russian sect and to perfect it, one must completely eliminate the 7 emotions and 6 desires." Fong Bao Kim replied, "Is that so? Because most of the internal power is yang energy. If you can't control it completely, the lack of yang energy will affect your appearance. So that's why the master of the Mao class and the younger disciples have different appearances." The place where Fong Bao Kim took everyone to was the residence of the leader of the alliance. Everyone had to cover their faces and sneak in. Just as everyone arrived at the door of a secret basement, someone came. Fong Bao Kim went to distract them and let the two go down first. At this time, the person who came in was none other than the leader of the alliance. He saw Fong Bao Kim and said, "Let's see who we are entertaining." "What are you doing here, Mr. Fong Bao Kim?" Fong Bao Kim replied, "Old man, why don't we have a drink?" Wang Jun, the immortal swordsman and leader of the Martial Arts Alliance, said, "Drink? Actually I'm also thirsty," he said, and the two went out to drink. Wang Jun asked him if he had found someone suitable to take as a disciple. Fong Bao Kim replied, I found a few." Wang Jun continued, "So, among the group that followed you here, is there anyone? You should improve your acting skills, it's obvious." Fong Bao Kim replied, "So you know, I apologize for not informing you in advance." Wang Jun laughed, "Are you really apologizing to me? I didn't expect to see you admit your mistake one day." Fong Bao Kim continued, "There's a kid who needs pure ice, so we had to borrow it for a while." Wang Jun laughed and said, "I'm sure you know that it's not something you can just come and borrow with your bare hands, right?" On this side, Nam Kung Mei and Orion came to a door. They stopped and opened the door and went in. Mei was happy to see the block of pure ice in front of her, but she saw Orion next to her with a strange look in her eyes. She showed 2 beams of light, and she seemed to lose her mind and went straight to the block of ice. Seeing this, Mei tried her best to stop her, but she was knocked away several times. Finally, he hugged her legs tightly, preventing her from moving. At this time, she tilted her neck and screamed, and 2 beams of light flew straight into the sky from her eyes. Outside, Fong Bao Kim was sitting and muttering, I was too curious, now I have to do a troublesome thing. Suddenly he saw two beams of light and exclaimed, "Is it the kids?" Inside, May remembered what Yurin had said before. "If I touch that thing with my bare hands, I'll freeze to death." Since she couldn't stop it anymore, she rushed to snatch the block of ice before Orion. At this time, Fong Baoqin rushed in to break the block of ice before May absorbed it, but he was too late. There was only a little bit of pure ice left. He checked May's body and exclaimed, "Damn, it's already stabilized in the heart energy. How the hell did it assimilate with the kid's heart energy so fast? If I pull out the ice crystal in this situation, the boy might die. But if I leave it like this, it is also very dangerous. I have no other choice. Kid, you should feel lucky. I will help you endure the ice crystal," he said and transmitted the dragon spirit energy into him. After a while, he sighed. "Phew, it's okay for now. But if you can't control the energy source of the ice crystal, the negative energy will block your meridians and make you breathless. But if you can master the energy source of the ice crystal, then that is your destiny. Little guy, good luck. If you can turn it into your power, I will put you on the list of candidates who can become my disciple. After cleaning up this place, let's leave." After everyone left, Wang Jun came to check. He looked at the remaining ice crystal and wondered if it had shrunk in size. Or is it just my imagination? In another place, an old man was carrying a bunch of children to a base. It turned out that he was the one who talked to the masked master before. He was the information manager of the Black Flower Alliance, named Black Kasha. He was disguised to collect information. Inside the base, he found out that this was the place where the people used people to test drugs. He wanted to follow them to find out the origin of the drugs, but he couldn't ignore the children, so he decided to go and save them. After saving the children, he broke the door and ran out, meeting the leader and some others standing by the car carrying the explosive chi pills. He shouted, "Is the deal done? You have to know that information is very valuable." The leader shouted, "Who are you, you bastard?" Black Kasha replied, "Maybe it's been a long time since people were arrogant when they saw this mask. If you don't know, you better die. Gold coin soul bullet technique," he said and threw out a lot of coins. The leader saw that and yelled, "What are you guys doing? Stop this bastard quickly." The subordinates didn't have time to touch Black Kasha. They were pierced by the coins and died instantly. Black Kasha moved forward and continued, "I don't care about your business, but messing with children is too much," he said and gave him a palm that blew him up. At this time, the masked master also arrived. Outside he saw the fight and thought he came to settle the matter of false information. "But I think I have to wait a little longer." When it was quiet, the masked master went in and saw Black Kasha picking up the coins. He said, "Oh my, you made this place a mess. If you always pick up those coins, why don't you throw something easier to find?" Black Kasha was startled and turned around. "Leader, why are you here? My martial art is called Gold Coin Disaster. At least I have to perform it according to the name, don't you think so? We are not much different from the kids." It turned out that because all the members of the Black Flower Alliance were orphans, Black Kasha reacted strongly when he saw the children. The masked master said, "Wherever there are explosive chi pills, the fake Rimyung will appear. Did the fake Rimyung mention you?" Black Kasha was shocked and said, "Leader, are you kidding me?" The masked master replied, "If you keep lying to get more money, I will kill you." Black Kasha replied, "Leader, you saw it too. I think the circulation of the pills has changed. I'm also investigating this. The explosive chi pills were sold very carefully, but now they are spread everywhere in the Central Plains with large quantities. It seems that we are chasing the fake Rimyung. He is the suspect of the massacres. But in my opinion, the explosive chi pills are the center of all the problems. How should I say it? I feel like there is an invisible hand controlling it. As soon as I collect more information, I will send you a letter. Why don't you go back to the Martial Alliance now? The masked master replied. All right, it's been 2 weeks since I left. I think it's time to go back. By the way, I've told you this before. But if you lie again, I will kill you. He said and left. Black Kasha stood alone and thought. I'm sorry, leader, but I don't think I can let you meet him right now. I have something to ask him. In the distance, the pill transporters saw the scene of devastation and exclaimed. This is where we just traded. Another person said, forget it, we still have a long way to go. We only have the task of transporting the materials. After the deal, whatever happens to them has nothing to do with us. At the Tang family in Sichuan, the person who was expelled from the White Martial Hall was guarding the Tang family head. He shouted. Hun Muji stammered and replied. It was because I was tricked by Nam Kong Mei, so I had no choice but to use poison. And Ji Gang Tang yelled. So you mean, even though you used one of the 8 deadly poisons, you still lost to a kid from the Nam Kong family? You idiot, what will people outside think of our Tang family? And you dare to come back here without bothering to take revenge. You are the disgrace of the Tang family in Sichuan. I will abolish your position of young master. I don't want to hear your explanation, get out of my sight. Tang Weiju heard that and left indifferently. At this time, Ji Gang Tang asked the person next to him. How is the supply of goods? The subordinate named Su Ha Tang replied. The supply in the Tang family is going on without any hindrance. But he wants us to increase the quantity of goods. It seems that they are being hunted. After being discovered, they also asked for help to distribute the goods. Ji Gang Tang asked. Is that to mislead the pursuers by dividing the work? He is a smart guy. Su Ha Tang continued. Sir, what if we let the young master take charge of distributing the goods? Anyway, we need someone we can trust. If he acts with the Black Moon team of the Tang family, he will be fine. Ji Gang Tang replied. I'm old and I only have that kid, so I'm a little worried. Alright, just do that. It turned out that Tang Weiju was the one in charge of delivering those orders. On this side, Nam Kong Mei had woken up. Fong Baoqing was transmitting the spirit energy to him and said. Because the dragon spirit energy is surrounding the fragment of the ice crystal, at least it won't spread to the whole body. But we always have to be careful, he is in a dangerous state, we don't know when the ice crystal fragment can explode. Aaron was sitting next to him and apologized. Young Master Mei, I almost lost my life because I tried to save you when I was attracted by the ice crystal. I will take responsibility for you for the rest of my life. Imagining a passionate love, he was splashed with cold water by Fong Baoqing. Fong Baoqing shouted. Forget it, you didn't mean to do that and everything is fine now, no need to worry too much. Making Orion angry, Nam Kong Mei thought. Isn't it very dangerous to have ice crystals in the body? Then why do I feel so light? Nam Kong Mei led the two to the training ground and said while running his inner power. This is what I want to experiment a little. He thought in his head that since he had no more excess yang energy, he might be able to use the skill in this state. The yin energy from the ice crystal was neutralizing the abundant yang energy flow. Now he tried to push the reverse origin to the limit. Polar reversal, the wind sword outside witnessed it and was amazed. It was extraordinary, it seemed that the kid could finally absorb the ice crystal. At this time, the devil-faced master also arrived and saw this scene. He secretly exclaimed how terrifying it was. What's going on? He observed Nam Kong Mei's body and saw the ice crystal or the treasure of the North Ocean and the dragon's true energy surrounding it. Somehow they all stabilized the flow of yang energy. What was happening? Was this a fantasy martial arts movie or something? At this time, Nam Kong Mei happily said to his master, Master, I have successfully reversed the polarity. Really, can you show me? The devil-faced master replied. Hearing that, Nam Kung Mei said, "Yes, sir." Then he demonstrated it again for him. The devil-faced master watched and thought, this polar reversal was beyond his imagination. Polar reversal was a step in which the positive and negative energy split applied a little technique compared to reversing the origin from the outside. And it was absorbed by understanding the vision and body. This was a step that could be understood and absorbed by one's body and vision. Just then, the power had gathered enough in Mei's two hands. He turned to ask his master, "Can I shoot now?" The devil-faced master was still wondering what to shoot when he shouted, "Aya," and pushed his two hands forward. The polar reversal power shattered a large area of the forest, leaving both of them dumbfounded. The devil-faced master thought it succeeded, but the kid's body was not ready to release it. Nam Kung Mei then turned to ask his master, "Does the polar reversal really destroy?" Before he finished, the master replied, "Yes, it is a very scary skill. The destruction like this will..." Before he could finish, Mei fainted and fell to the ground. The master continued, "Of course, it will drain the kid's internal energy." A while later, Nam Kung Mei woke up. The master said, "Your innate energy has increased a lot thanks to the ice crystal and the dragon's bone energy. For you right now, it must have been too much to handle. The important thing in the polar reversal process is the balance between the energy flows. Although the energy flows are usually naturally stable, your body cannot withstand such a strong source of energy in the current state. Therefore, the damage was inevitable." Mei thought he was too impatient. He said, "I'm sorry." At this time, the master asked him why he was in such a hurry. Mei hesitated and said, "Actually," then he told the master about the competition with Mao Ring Bo. The master listened and said, "To be honest, I expected something like that. But unless I decisively allow it, the use of polar reversal is absolutely forbidden. From now on, we will focus on training your body." He looked up at a nearby mountain and said, "Today, climb to the top of that mountain and come back to the dormitory to rest immediately." Mei replied, "Yes, sir." Then he ran away. After Mei left, the devil-faced master said, "Thank you for helping my disciple." Hearing that, the wind sword appeared and said, "You don't have to thank me. After all, I'm also thinking of making the kid a candidate for my disciple." The master replied, "That kid Nam Kung Mei is already my disciple." Fong Baoqin replied, "Don't you think that the boy could become my disciple if his master disappeared?" Master Kui Dian answered, "Thank you for your concern, but it's not necessary. I will take responsibility for my disciple until the end." Fong Baoqin laughed. "Oh, you don't have to worry too much.